When it comes to creating automations, you also have a few different options on how you can actually go about creating the automations. You can use Airtable Automations, you can use Zapier, you can use Make, On2Air, or scripting. So there are lots of different options, and in this course, we're going to primarily cover Airtable Automations and Zapier Automations. We're covering these two because in 90% of our projects, we use both of these. We might cover some additional information on On2Air and Make in a supplemental, but I think you will get the most bang out of your buck or the most bang out of your time with Airtable Automations and Zapier. Because I just gave you 5 different options for setting up automations, I'm also going to share with you when to use which option. So our options are between Airtable, Zapier, Make, On2Air, and scripting. I would bucket those into 3 sections. The first one being Airtable, the second one being any kind of third-party tools like Zapier, Make, and On2Air, and then the third one being scripting. We always start and build any kind of automations we can using Airtable Automations. It's all in one place, it's in your database, very easy to access and therefore maintain. It's the most straightforward way of setting up automations. It's also the fastest in terms of actually running. Inside of Zapier, Make, On2Air, there's always going to be a minute or 2 or 5-minute delay depending on which plan you purchase on those third-party apps. And in Airtable, whenever an automation needs to run, it pretty much runs immediately, which is also helpful because it's very fast. Airtable Automations does have some limitations though. You cannot set up an automation that talks to another database. So even if all of the databases you're trying to work in belong to you under your Airtable account, your automation is still only going to be able to work inside of one database, and it cannot move data from one database into another. That's a very important distinction. Another limitation is that Airtable Automations has a fairly limited set of tools that you can actually integrate with. It will allow you to send emails through Gmail and send calendar invites through Google Calendar, which is all super, super helpful. But when you use a Zapier or Make, it just opens you up to so many other tools out there. So next up on our list is the third-party tools. We use both Zapier and On2Air fairly frequently. Zapier we use to integrate with lots of different tools. It's a pretty direct integration and happens quite fast. Zapier also has paths, which are essentially conditional automations, and there's a lot that you can do. Airtable also has conditional automations, but they just work slightly differently. Zapier has a fairly linear UI, so when you create an automation, you might have multiple steps in that automation, and it just flows from top to bottom. It's very easy to learn, and a lot of our clients actually end up maintaining their own databases and Zapier automations because they've learned and have become more confident through working with us on a project. And we're very happy and proud to of our clients who are able to do that. Make is another helpful platform. Make and Zapier are very direct competitors. Their automations will have some slight differences, and a lot of what's possible within each platform is also possible within the other. So we generally find the linear nature of Zapier to be fairly easy to use. So that's why we will primarily use Zapier with the hope that we can teach our clients how to use it. The third one is On2Air. We use On2Air a lot for generating documents. You can still do both of those things inside of Zapier and Make, but we do really like the process of using On2Air for generating a document. There's a lot of different formatting things that you can have. There's a lot of different formatting options you can have when you're generating a spreadsheet or a Google Doc with On2Air, and we really like that tool. So there are some different options, but primarily we'll cover Airtable and Zapier. The third option is scripting. I am not qualified to teach you, so we're going to leave that out of the course. And if you want to learn more about JavaScript, you can go through and find some other online resources. Zero to Mastery is a really great resource if you want to do some of your own online learning. They have Udemy courses and I think a platform of their own as well. Thanks for investing in your own knowledge base. I'm Cherry Yang, the founder of Claribase. We're going to be releasing our flagship course, Airtable Mastery, for free. In the course, you can find over 100 videos on topics like design, integration, automations, and interfaces. It's perfect for the Airtable champion who wants to build their database right the first time. You can sign up for the course at the link down below.